My name is Delbert Huffle, and I collect dinosaur replicas. Um, it all started back when I was a little kid. I always liked dinosaurs. I read books on them and made models of them, and dinosaurs are my best friends. They always have been my best friends. And I was a real expert, and it wasn't until I was 17 years old my mother says, "You certainly do like dinosaurs, something special, don't you, Delbert?" And I says to Mom, "Yeah, Mom, I guess you're right, you know, 'cause she was." And then I started looking at my shoes and looking at her and looking at my shoes and looking at her and looking at my shoes, and she starts laughing and I start laughing, and it was a real special moment for us, for me and my mom. And ever since then, I knew that dinosaurs were to be my life. Um, After spending 4.5 years trying to get through at junior college, I got into Humboldt State University as a freshman. By that time, I had a pretty big assortment of dinosaurs. In fact, I probably have the biggest dinosaur replica collection in the world. I'm not bragging, it's just the truth. If you like a number, how does 10 dinosaur replicas grab you, huh? Some of them are plastic, but some of them are wood, and most of them are made out of Play-Doh and beads. Anyway, I got the idea of exhibiting my dinosaurs when I was sitting around reading this dino book, this DINO-RAMA dino book, and my roommate starts funning with me. You know, we start having a real good time. He's throwing stuff at me, you know, swim fins and, you know, shoes and boots and stuff, and I'm just having a good time. And he gets through. Well, I was just enjoying it, and he gets through, and he says, "Gee, Delbert, that certainly is a mighty impressive assortment of dinosaurs." He calls me Delbert, and then runs off. I started thinking, maybe I should share my dino collection with poor children that can't afford dinos. You know, so that night I started making, you know, some really prehistorical type scenery to so I could exhibit them, and I stayed up really late, so I used that excuse to drink some coffee. And let me tell you, it tasted neat. Coffee tastes really good if you haven't had it before, but I kind of did something wrong. I drank it straight. And if anybody knows who's drinking coffee straight, that you shouldn't do that, especially the first time, because I started feeling kind of dizzy, and I got kind of sick, so I went to bed early, but I had to go to bed anyway. You know, I had to get up early in the morning. In fact, that next morning, I got up at 6 o'clock, and I went to this guy down the hall that has a bunch of stuff, and knocked on his door and asked him if I can borrow a box and some clothes, you know, some fancy dress-up clothes, because I didn't have any. So he gives me a box, and he gives me a bunch of clothes, the nicest clothes you've seen, you know, something really bright colors and parrots and this flower vest, something you'd see on a Hawaiian god, you know, something like that. And I looked pretty sharp, you know, trucking on downtown. Board the expression trucking. I don't usually talk like that, but I started moving out, and everything went just fine, you know. People started, when after a while, when I got downtown, people started honking at me and calling me names, and but I didn't mind. I liked the attention. And it took me a long time, and I was, you know, looking every which way as my eyes were getting really tired, you know, from looking. My feet hurt really bad too, but I finally found the perfect place that probably most poor children would be, and that was in front of Larry's Market, you know, when their moms are inside stealing food or something. And I set up my dino replica collection and got ready to answer questions, you know. But at first, well, no, to tell the truth, about 1 million people came, you know, at least 1 million people, and I could hardly, you know, had enough time for them, because you know, I don't get all day to answer questions and stuff, and I kept turning them away, and you know, well, people came up to me and asked questions about, you know, how do I clean my dinosaur replica, or how do I, you know, does he need a cage? Yeah, that's the question, really. And after I counted about 1,000 million people who asked questions and looked, but yeah, I was really busy. But I just talked, you know, you should have been there with something else. It was just a real hooting all the time. You should have been there. But all good things must come to an end, and about exactly 1:30 o'clock, I started packing up my stuff and taking off to maybe someplace that wasn't so hustle bustle, you know, I'd get a little rest. And so I took off to the library at Humboldt State University, which is a giant place. That Humboldt State is a huge school. I mean, you could lose an elephant in that place easy. So I figured, why not? You know, why not go there? There must be plenty of small children, you know, in the library reading. Well, do poor children read books? I don't know. Well, I figured if a blind one came, he could feel it. He'd feel the dinosaurs. So I came, you know, probably plenty of blind children. And so I got kind of fancy this time, and I set up my pictures, you know, these paintings I had made of dinos. And one, I set up Stegosaurus Rex and Tyrannosaurus and Quadruplosaurus and stuff like that. I know the names, so I'm pretty technical with them. And after a while, I thought people weren't coming because they thought it cost money, you know? So I put this on, this is free. And then somebody comes up, finally. No, I mean, everybody came up, a lot of people came up and said, free what? You know, what am I supposed to say? Free look? So I did, I said free look, and he kicked me. And it kind of hurt, but I didn't care. And I had this, I made this tag that said, hi, I'm Delbert, you know, so someone doesn't have to come up and say, hey, you know, they can say, hey, Delbert, you know, how do I clean my dinosaur? Or how do I make a dinosaur replica? And we were all having a good time. They were, you know, my dinosaurs were cooking out there and having a good old fun time. And, but, once again, I had things to do. And so we had so I set up a big old party for him, you know, when I got home. And all the dinosaurs came, even Woody. And I gave him brown sugar and a penny each for working. Even Woody, because he'd waited at home so nicely. And I think if there's something you want to do, like exhibit dinosaurs, you should get out and do it, you know, because it's you know, you shouldn't care that you got things to do. You know, I think we should all show more dinosaur. That's what I think.